Welcome to Unity of Dayton and happy Independence Weekend. We are going to begin this morning, open everything up, open ourselves up, and open this center up to inviting God to join our crowd. So please stand and let's sing Surely the Presence.
Feel God's mighty power and grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Standing, we will say our mission statement together. We welcome all as we create loving community, teach universal truth, practice spiritual principles, and live life abundantly. Remain standing for our vision prayer. Together, we acknowledge that the universe is safely guiding Unity of Dayton into the future. We release all resistance to change, letting go of what was and embracing the new. We believe that the harmonizing power of love is showing us the way to navigate transition. Together, we walk in faith as we welcome what and who is to come, with open minds and hearts. Together, we are willing and we are ready now. Thank you, God, and so it is. Now I invite Reverend Linda for the opening prayer.
Can we just take a moment to feel the power, the passion, the wisdom, the wholeness, the oneness that is God, that is Spirit, as it breathes every breath and beats every heart. We are one with the one, there is only one. And in this space of oneness, this space of knowingness, this power that is God, that is all things and everything, we come together knowing this service is an absolute divine order, that we are blessed by beautiful music, wonderful friendship, and words that inspire us. We allow God to work through and as each one of us, through and as Unity of Dayton, and through and as this service. And knowing it is good and knowing it is done, in gratitude and thanksgiving, I say thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
Our affirmation today is I am free to love anyone and everyone, including myself now. Please say this together. I am free to love anyone and everyone, including myself now. Thank you. Is there anybody joining us today for the very first time? We have some new people. Hi, I see some new faces back there. Welcome. The ushers will bring a welcome packet to you. Feel free, we've got an awesome service and an awesome Reiki after the service, and ask anybody any questions anytime. Thank you. Anybody else today? No? Okay, we're going to want to all stand again and sing America the Beautiful.
Above the fruited plain. pilgrim feet, whose turning passions stress, a thoroughfare of freedom deep, across the wilderness. America, America, Lord has thine every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for heroes true, liberating strife, who Lord herself their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy glory find, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for nature dream that seems beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities paint, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy youth with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
The word for today, Sunday, July 3rd, is very appropriately free. Living from my Christ nature sets me free. As a spirited being, I am always free. I remember this at those moments I feel at the mercy of an unpredictable world. While I may not be able to control what's happening around me, I can take comfort knowing I don't need to. I am free to choose my response, but even more, I am free to meet life from my divinity, the breath of my spiritual power. In prayer, I claim divine ideas. I use my gift of imagination to envision the life I wish to live and the gift of will to make choices to bring it about. I speak affirmations to raise my consciousness and help create conditions for my highest and best outcome to manifest. I find precious freedom realizing that life doesn't happen to me, life happens through me. And from John 8, verse 36, so it is the Son who makes you free, you will be free indeed. And we're going to stand and sing again, this time, Chosen to See.
I choose to see the love in me, I choose to see the love in me, I choose to see the love in me, it's also called divinity, I choose to honor who I am, I choose to honor who I am, I choose to honor who I am, I'm part of Spirit's master plan. I choose to let my dreams come true. I choose to let my dreams come true. I choose to let my dreams come true, 'cause God's with me in all I do. I choose to shine the light in me. I choose to shine the light in me. I choose to shine the light in me. It ripples through infinity.
Now I'd like to introduce Reverend Linda Ketchum. But just as a quick reminder, she is the founding minister and minister emeritus of the Center for Spiritual Living in Greater Cincinnati. And she has been marvelous in helping us out through our transition period. Let's welcome Reverend Linda.
Feel free, hallelujah. Feel free, more power to you. Feel free, whatever you do, you know you can't get wrong alone. Feel free, keep on moving. Feel free, find your groove, 'cause you are the life of the body. Feel free, if you're lonely. Feel free to make yourself at home, and in the middle of the night, feel free to be alone. Whatever you need, relax. Don't get fucked down in the back. Feel free, hallelujah. Feel free, more power to you. Feel free, whatever you do, you know you can't get wrong alone. Feel free, keep on moving. Feel free, find your groove, 'cause you are the life of the party. Feel free. There's a wild world waiting to feel free to help yourself. And if you get stuck, it's alright to try something else. Middle of a crisis, try this. One breath and you can't miss. Feel free, hallelujah. Feel free, more power to you. Feel free, whatever you do, you know you can't get wrong alone. Feel free, you keep on moving. Feel free to find your groove, 'cause you are the life of the party. Feel free. You don't need to be hand-cranking the universe. We got special angels everywhere we go. There's something a whole lot wiser keeping everything alive. 'Cause you know that the rivers flow, the grass grows on their own. Feel free, hallelujah. Feel free, more power to you. Feel free, whatever you do, you know you can't get it wrong. Feel free, keep on moving. Feel free to find your groove, 'cause you are the life of the party. Feel free, 'cause you are the life of the party. Feel free.
Thank you all for your wonderful, beautiful music, as always. We appreciate you. Good morning. As I was introduced, I am Reverend Linda Ketchum, and I honor all paths to God. and I'm very glad to be here today. I've been a minister as of next August, the first week in August, 20 years. And probably every year in that 20 years that I have spoken on the first Sunday in July, I have spoken on freedom. And I'm going to speak on more on being free than freedom today. But I usually start what I talk about with an experience that started almost 60 years ago. Actually, it was more than 60 years ago. I was a 4-H member in Oklahoma for as many years as they allowed me to be, and was very active. In fact, I was honored to be in the top 10% of 4-H members in Oklahoma. So in that time, I did a lot of speeches and a lot of demonstrations. And I've done a lot of sermons and a lot of speeches since. But there is one line from a talk I did, probably my second or third year in 4-H, on freedom, where I used Patrick Henry's "Give me liberty or give me death" speech. There is a sentence in that that has stuck in my mind for 60 years. And I admit, until this morning, it has made me angry. And this morning, I finally got it. And the sentence is, freedom is the right to do anything as long as it does not infringe on the rights of others. Amen. Now think about the world of effect that we live in. Is there anything you can do that doesn't impact somebody else? Now this is the anger I've carried around for 60 years. This morning I finally got it. It's an inside job. It was what's going on in my head that decides if I am free or not. And what has been going on in my head for the last, I did it again. I have to share with you that my computer hates me. And sometimes all my electronics hate me, including my iPhone. This sermon that I am giving today, I gave it in 2019, at least the ideas. It will be nothing like that. I can give 3 sermons back to back and there'll be 3 different ones. But I put in quotes from Ernest Holmes and Charles Fillmore at least 3 times. And when I printed this off, none of them are in it. And I looked at that and I thought, okay, I get it, universe, whatever. And I had talked on this same subject Wednesday on the online church that I'm a part of. And I didn't like what I said at all. And what I finally got is what I'm really talking about is releasing bondage so that we are free. Holmes defines and includes in bondage anger, hatred, dislike, displeasure. If he was speaking in our language, he would probably include pissed off and a few other things. And when I think about all the things that have gone on in this world, politically and in every other way for the last probably my entire life, I have resentment. I resent a lot of things that have gone on. And that is a better word than saying I'm angry or I'm upset, because resentment covers the whole line. And when I am in resentment, I am not free. I am in bondage. And Charles Fillmore said in the quote that got eaten, that until we are in that Christ consciousness, we are in bondage. And this is why I got it this morning, that it's an inside job, and it's how I think about things that create my freedom. Because till I can come from that Christ consciousness, our principle, our knowing that the only relationship I am to have with anyone is a relationship of love and acceptance, I am in bondage. I am not free. So what do we do? Merriam-Webster defines resentment as a feeling of indignation, displeasure, or persistent ill will at something regarded as wrong, an insult, or an injury. I have given up listening to the news lately because I feel too much resistance, resentment, along with everything else. And I don't deal with it well. So I've had to make a choice of what I'm willing to put into my head and what I'm willing to live with. Raymond Charles Barker, who was a contemporary of Ernest Holmes, in a book entitled The Science of Successful Living, has an entire chapter on resentment. And he says resentment is resentment. Excuse me. Resentment is an abnormal direction of emotion with an unconscious intent of self-destruction. That's how serious resentment is. It is self-destruction. Its indignation creates havoc in every area of our lives. It is harmful to the body, your business, your friendships, your finances, and your marriage. It is insipid operation in filtering all your unconscious actions. When you allow your subconscious mind to be saturated with this emotional malignancy, you are not only in trouble, you are headed for even more trouble. So resentment can kill us. Negative emotions can kill us. Forgetting that we are all one and there is God in every single situation, no matter what the effect looks like, puts us into fear and resentment and displeasure and judgment. For me, probably the biggest component of my resentments are judgment. I can judge quite well. And I judge myself quite harshly. And therefore I judge others quite harshly. The natural state, according to Barker again, the natural and normal state of our emotion is one of order, peace, givingness, and love. Do you live from a place of love, peace, givingness, and order? Or do you allow other things to impact how you feel and how you react to what is going on in your world? When we do, we're in resentment. We're in fear. And we are not open to that divine guidance that is God, that is Spirit. One of my favorite lines, and I don't know who said it first, but with God, all things are possible. We just have to be open to it. And when we live in fear and resentment and anger and judgment, we are not allowing that open channel to Spirit. God can only do for us what He can do through us. And if we have the resentment that I'm talking about, as the cloak we wear, God cannot do anything through us until we remember our oneness and our love for not only ourselves, but every person in the world. Parker says, in fact, most people are led around by their emotions like sheep following a shepherd. It doesn't enter their thinking to direct them aright. We are emotional beings. Our emotional structure is a way in which we experience life and enjoy those experiences. Our emotions were never intended to be destructive. Am I the only one here who's ever had destructive emotions? Today? Actually, today's been pretty good so far. We have to watch for the toll that the anger, the resentment, the fear takes on our bodies. Have you ever noticed that when you're really, really angry, when you finally get a break from that anger, how exhausted you are? I don't think that's good for us. Have you ever noticed that when you feel filled with love, how much more at peace and how much happier you are? That's when you're free. When we're allowing our emotions, especially the ones that we call negative, no emotion is bad. It's how we react to it and how we allow it to impact our lives that are the important part. So it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be mad. But it's also okay to be happy and to forgive someone. And to allow and to release the attachment to whatever that anger is. If you find yourself with a lot of forgiveness work that you want to do or anger that you need to let go of, I am in the process of writing a book on forgiveness, and it's based on a workshop that I do. And I will be doing that workshop the third weekend in August, I believe. If the date changes, we'll let you know. But consider doing it, because there will be experientials in it to allow you to forgive yourself as well as others. So it is a powerful workshop, and I highly recommend considering it. All of us have something that we drag around that it's time to let go of. The love of God is where we're supposed to come from. And the love of God is the love of everyone. And knowing that in every situation, God is there. Let me ask you a question. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Do you see your true self? Or do you see the mask you wear that you want others to see? And who do you want to see in that mirror? If you see the mask of who you are you attempting or are you refusing to see what we're doing with our lives and what we're doing to ourselves physically and emotionally and to some degree spiritually? And when we see, if we truly looked at ourselves and saw who we truly are, we would see God. Because each one of us is the divine expression of God. And when you look at the person next to you, you would see God. In fact, look around the room and look at all these expressions of God. God expresses in many, many ways. And each one of them is absolutely perfect. It doesn't matter how much we weigh. It doesn't matter what color our skin is. It doesn't matter what sex we are, what nationality, anything else we are. Each one of us is God expressing absolutely perfectly. And when we come to the point where we can live from experiencing that, seeing that, and feeling that, we're free. We've released the bondage and we've stepped into the freedom of who we are. And one thing we need to know is that when we make that decision to step into that freedom, that we have to allow others to be who they are. They are not going to be who we think they should be. I have been watching someone very close to me who is very upset at the relationship between his son and his granddaughter, which is basically non-existent. Neither one of them is willing to admit that they are part of the problem. It is always someone else. And believe me, if you are in the situation, you are part of the problem. And if you're trying to fix someone else, believe me, I spent many years attempting to do this. It does not work. Just give it up. I haven't got this friend convinced of that yet, and it is so emotional to everyone involved. I have to keep my mouth shut. It's very hard. But we need to know that we cannot fix anyone. And it is not our responsibility for what they do. After a certain age, this includes our own children. And sometimes that is the hardest thing to know. That it's their choices to make, and they have to come to their own conclusions and make their own choices. And it depends on the child at what age that hits. My grandson is a very good pitcher for an 11-year-old. And he joined a new team this weekend, which is a good thing. And his dad is no longer able to coach him, which if you tell his dad I said that that's a good thing, I will deny it. So my grandson is pitching and the inning is going terribly. He is throwing all balls and Clayton never throws balls. So he gives a signal to his new coach, which is basically, get my dad where I can't see him. And the coach goes over to Clayton's dad and tells him, Clayton has asked for you to step away so that he's not seeing you while he's trying to pitch. And he got the out he needed. And the next inning, he either put out 3 for 3 or 3 for 4 when his dad was not there directing him. So, and I really am very proud of him because he is the biggest people pleaser I know. I am so proud of him for asking for what he needed. And another adult being able to see that he did it, and his father for honoring his request. That is, that's what life is about, is knowing what we need and want and being willing to let others know in a kind and loving way. It's not about walking all over everybody or demanding that they do whatever we want. It's being in a space of peace that allows us to be who we are and allows them to be who they are. This is what freedom is. Bondage is when we try to fix everybody and don't acknowledge or do what we need to do for ourselves. Because we've allowed ourselves to be distracted by what's going on outside of us, instead of dealing with what's going on within us. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. The only thing we can change in many situations is how we think and react, not the other person. The catchwords for Centers for Spiritual Living Religious Science for many years was change your thinking, change your life. And when we change our thinking, our lives do change. I am one who absolutely knows how much my life changed when I stepped into these principles 30 years ago. It made a tremendous difference. When I noticed it the most was at work. When I noticed, instead of being the person people came to stir things up and make them crazy, which I could do quite well, I became the person they came to calm down and find a different way of doing it. That was a big change. And I was very honored when I actually saw it happen, because that was part of my freedom, was to let go of that resentment and anger that would drive me to expend all this energy and anger, when I could come from a place of peace and oneness and know that God was working through every situation. In that specific time frame, one of the tools that I learned to use was around people who, how do I phrase this, made me a little crazy. I would silently say, the Christ in me salutes the Christ in you. And things would shift. Things changed drastically when I could truly see the Christ in someone else and salute that Christ. That is part of letting go of anger. That is part of letting go of fear. It's part of forgiveness. Just allowing ourselves to see the good and the great in everyone, including ourselves. And to feel that divine connection, that divine oneness, that divine truth that is God in every moment. As I've said several times in the last 5 minutes, we cannot change someone else, but we can always change ourselves for the better. When we embrace these principles, when we live from that Christ consciousness, we see the good in all. And we are free of judgment, anger, and fear. Barker also says, if someone steps in your path and you cringe, realize you are not reacting so much to them, but to your own reaction that may have been subconsciously created. It is about us. When I was studying early on in my spiritual path, the minister that was head of my church was going through a period where she said many, many times, this is not about me, this is about you. And there was something going on that I was absolutely positive it had to be about her. But I kept thinking about it. I still think it was about her. But and I cannot remember. I don't remember what it was. But she was using this, it's about you brush all the time. And I thought, there's some responsibility here too. But when we let go of who is it about, and just remember that we're supposed to have only loving, supported relationships with everyone. We let go of a lot of stuff. And over the years, I have come to the understanding that yes, it was probably at least as much about me as it was about her. And again, I don't even remember the situation, but I remember really resenting that statement a lot. And having to really come to terms with it. Because I think I was smart enough not to challenge her on it. But I'm not sure. I've come a long ways, folks. I've come a long ways. We're going to end with a visualization, with a little experiential. So I want you to get comfortable in your seat. And if you want to, I want you to close your eyes. And just breathe in and breathe out. And if you want to hold your hands out in front of you, just sort of put your resentments in your hand. Maybe they're fear or anger or something your significant other or children or parents, boss, someone has done to you, something that feels unfair, the Supreme Court, Russia, the world, anything you resent, put it in your hand. See it. And now I want you to begin to feel love. Knowing that any anger, any fear, any displeasure, any judgment is not yours to do. That yours is love. Yours is to live from a place of love. That it is an example to everyone who sees you. And now I want you to listen to this meditation. I am one with all of life, love, and truth there is. I am one with God. And if you want to put your hands over your heart, please do so. I am one with every person, for in each is the image and likeness of perfect life. I take full spiritual control of my mind and emotions, and I refuse to be disturbed by a person or situation. No resentment can find acceptance in my consciousness. I have spiritual understanding of whom I am. I behold in all the love of God, which blesses and benefits me. I behold in all the love of God, which blesses and benefits me. The actions and words of another person have no power or authority within me. I am at peace with myself and with others. I am the only thinker in my world, and I guard my emotions night and day to maintain my freedom from others. The only relationship I can have with any person is one of love, understanding, and peace. I am free, and I am an uncluttered expression of God. Just breathe it in and know it. I am free. And so it is. And thank you.
There's only love. There's only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love.
Now, as we bring our thoughts back to this time and this place, the ushers will come forward for the offering. Take your offering in your hand, infuse it with love, hold it as we say our divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Gratitude for me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Forward, and Reverend Linda will bless our offering.
And we say, thank you, God. Thank you for the abundance of the universe expressed through these tithes and offerings. As we bless not only the givers, but the receivers, knowing that this travels forth, blessing the givers at least tenfold, as well as the receivers. We give thanks for knowing the abundance of God, experiencing it, and knowing it. And knowing it is good, and knowing it is done. In gratitude and thanksgiving, I say thank you, God, and so
Thank you. And thank you, Reverend Linda, today. Thank you for being here. Transformational opportunities. Today, if you haven't already heard, is Reiki Sunday. First Sunday of the month. And we have a very, very special treat today because Eden Foster, is she in here? No? Oh, Eden Foster is going to be gracing us with a sound bath. And if you have never experienced her sound bath, you are in for an awesome treat. There is nothing more, I don't know, releasing, get rid of anxiety, stress, just let the music wash over you. It is absolutely fabulous. And Reiki in itself, it's a healing, gentle touch therapy. And it involves placing the hands on various locations of the body, but it promotes relaxation and a sense of calm. So the two together, you can't get any better than that. Reverend Chase is leading a weekly telephone prayer time. Everyone is invited to participate any Tuesday that you want to. It's at 9 a.m. The primary purpose is to hold our vision prayer in love, because prayer is even more powerful when two or more are gathered together. Now, the info, the telephone number that you need to join into this this prayer time, it's strictly on phone. It's not a Zoom. It's just a telephone call. It's all on the table out in the lobby. The phone number, all the information you need, and it's in our newsletter. I have it pinned to the top of our Facebook page. It's on our website, unityofdayton.org. You'll be able to look it up and find it anywhere you want, any Tuesday that you'd like to join. Unity has started a compassion and care team. They'll be sending cards to the ill or bereaved or people who just need phone calls or checkups. This team is going to be led, I guess you would say, by Gloria in the back corner of the room. Raise your hand, Gloria. Gloria and Colleen Foster. So if you have any questions, you can talk to either one of them, and there's also a sign-up sheet on the table out there for if you'd like to join that group. If you'd like to donate to Unity of Dayton, there's several different ways. You can donate through cash, check, credit card, in person, or by mail. You can donate through constant comment or on our website, through PayPal, credit cards, or debit options. We will take money from all directions. Are you signed up to receive our weekly newsletter? Because if you're not, you're missing out on what's going on. If you have an email, just put it on a form out there in the lobby and let us send you the weekly newsletter so you can keep up with everything that's going on. The Sacred Feminine Women's Group that meets in person on Wednesdays from 10:30 to noon. Women of Unity are invited to join Colleen for stimulating conversation and connection. We also have, if I can get to it, a drumming circle. It's at 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month. You can bring your drums, your rattles, anything you want to use to make noise, pound your heart out. Pound out all your frustrations. Raise your spiritual vibrations. And the next drumming circle is Wednesday, July 13th, right here at 6 o'clock. Weather's nice and may even move it outside. Okay, and the Venus Rising Women's Study Group is held on Monday mornings from 10 a.m. to p.m. Now, it's a Zoom meeting group, and the information for how to get the Zoom invite is also out on the table out there. They will not be meeting this Monday, of course, because of the holiday, but the following Monday, they are beginning a new book, and it's called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. So if you want to start a new book with them, all the information is out on the table, and it's Zoom, so no problem. Everybody has Zoom, right? Okay, we're going to close today and get ready for Reiki. And if we would all stand, we will sing our peace song.